All right, guys, we're here. Today is the day. We're getting ready to install the new TUWA Pro shiprock rack. It's a mid rack, about 12.5 inches high. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Stay tuned. All right, so let's show you some unboxing. We got that box right there. That's not the rack. That's two support bars for a rooftop tent or whatever you want to put on top of the rack. But down here, this is where the magic is. Let's unbox it. All right, so there we go, guys. That's the whole rack out of the box. Everything was wrapped really good in plastic, each individual piece, so not to get scratched or marred up any. Good quality metal, good quality steel here, and I'm excited. So we got a total of 16 pieces for the rack itself, plus the bag that's filled with all the hardware, the pads for the bed rail and all that, so you don't scratch your bed up. So if you also notice, each cross part in the front and the back has got the TUWA Pro logo cut into it with a stainless steel metal plate behind it, so it looks really cool, sticks out. So let's get started. All right, guys, we moved into the shade a little bit to start the first part of this. I want to show you what tools you're going to need. Super simple, really. Let's take a look. All right, guys, the tools you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a blade, some sort of knife to cut open the package, and the hardware bag, obviously. But really, there's only two tools you need to put this rack together, which is a 13mm wrench, or I suppose you could use a crescent wrench, and a T40 Torx bit with a ratchet, or in our case, we're going to use an impact. Why? Because we have it. And then if you want, you can also grab yourself a 13mm socket. You might need that. You won't need it, but it might make it a little bit handier for you. But that's it. That's all you need to get this rack built, mounted on your truck. So one of the first things that as you do in step one, you get two long pieces of this sticky foam to put on the piece that's going to go on the rail of your truck. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut these. There's going to be two on each one. You're going to cut them, and they're going to go on there and on the flat side, so that when you put it to the truck, you don't scar or mar any of the truck. Mine, the Ford, has got the plastic tops on the rails, so it won't scratch and scar it, but we're still going to use it. All right, so when you're done with that, you should have 8 of these pieces cut down to fit on 4 of the corner, we'll call them posts. And once you have that, as you can see, basically what you're going to do is just peel off the white film on the back of it and then stick them on. And it's easily just that simple. See, so basically you're going to have one on the end that goes to the side of the bed and one on the top that goes on top of the bed. So basically this is going to be a front post, so it's going to look just like this. All right, and there you go. There's all four pieces with the foam attached to them. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one was right back there. When you're all said and done, you should only have 2 small little squares like that left over to throw away. All right, guys, one of the things I suggest you do, and I just did it now, is go ahead, separate and organize your nuts and bolts. Because you're going to have 56 of the T40 hex nuts, or screw bolts. You got 56 of the 13 millimeter nuts, 56 washers. You have 8 of these bolts, a little bit shorter, and 8 of the longer bolts. So just makes it a little bit easier. I just went and stole some Tupperware from my wife's cabinet. Don't tell her. But first step, these 2 pieces have to go together. All right, so step 2, after you got your foam on the outside of these, you're going to take that piece and you're going to take this piece. Now there's 4 of these, there's 4 of these in the kit. These 2 pieces have to go together. And they go together just like that. And you'll notice there's a hole here we're going to put a nut through. There's 2 here and 2 on the other side. And what we're going to use on those is one of the 56 T40 Torx bits, a washer, and a lock nut on each one of them. So let's get to it. And if you notice, there's a washer already pre-attached on the nut for the outside. So you just have to have the one washer for the inside. Put those 2 pieces together, put this nut through here, put a washer, we're going to put a nut. And we're just going to hand tighten it for now. Because then we'll put it on its side, we'll take another bolt, we'll line the holes up, and do the same thing, repeat all 5 times. Put a washer. We're going to put a nut. And this is why you don't tighten them down right away, because you do have a little bit of give and take, a little bit of play in there. To line the holes up. And it's also why it's a great idea to have these separated and organized. And then once you have them all put in, then we can go ahead, we can tighten them down. So we'll use our 13 millimeter wrench, put on the nut inside, take our impact gun with our T40, and we'll tighten it down. Let's do that on all of them. All right, there you go. All 4 pieces. These are the corners. So again, you can see we got 2 bolts on each side with 1 at the end. So that's 5 bolts total for all 4 pieces. Okay, so now the next step is take 2 of your ends and you're going to take your cross support that's got the TUWA Pro logo on it, stainless steel. And one of the big things you want to remember is this is directional. So the long part needs to go on the inside towards the bed and vice versa on the other way. So if you'll see over here, it goes like that. And what you'll need to figure out is the width of your bed to determine which of the holes that these will all line up. So let's check that out on the floor. So I'm just kind of putting this center of the truck, and I'm putting my 1 post up here and just kind of eyeball and see where I'm going. So it looks like I'm going to use these 2 slots off of probably these 2 slots, or at least this first one. So we'll start there. And these 2 pieces just slide together. The long piece goes on the inside to the corner end. And basically you're just going to do the same thing as you did with the corner pieces. You're going to use the same bolts. You stick one up on top with a nut and a washer. So once you get it lined up where you think it's supposed to go, and trust me, that is a bit of a challenge, lay it on its side and start putting all the bolts in. All right, before you tighten it all down, do a final fit. Make sure it's going to fit within the bed rails. All right, through trial and error, the first piece is set. So all we got to do is tighten up and torque down all the screws and then build the second piece. You know, you might want to ask, where's Jody at? My partner in crime. Well, we decided for me to do this video on my truck by myself. We wanted to show that this rack could be put together with one person and put on the truck with one person. The rack I had on before definitely needed two people to install it. It was probably a little bit heavier weight-wise than this rack. I wouldn't say it was stronger, but it was definitely heavier weight-wise. But we wanted to show that you could get a rack out there that you only needed yourself to install. So far, it's been pretty simple. So let's get back at it. All right, now the next step on this install, once you get your main part of your racks back and the front all set in place where they're supposed to fit widthwise, tightened up. Next, you have your little pieces here that go on each corner of the post. The back ones go in towards the cab. The ones at the front cab go out towards the tailgate. But you'll notice on these, they are angled. So you see the difference? So you want to make sure that you get these in the right spot on the right post. So as you can see in the picture here, the long end goes downward, the short end goes up. So in this case, that means this piece will go on that rack. So let's get to it. We're using the same T40 Torx head nut. You can see, I'll zoom in closer, but the nuts go, the bottom one's on the outer end, the top one's on the inner. And we're going to leave these loose for now. They're going to dangle so that we can then put our cross support in the middle, and then we'll tighten it all up at the same time. So let's get the other post on. I'm going ahead and tightening up just the top bolt, snugging it a little bit. So that way these do sit a little bit flusher. So I think it'll be easier to do the side rails that way. So I'm just going to do the top. Just kind of snug it where it's eyeball straight. Although sometimes these sockets get stuck in there a little bit, so you got to work them out. And you'll notice too, I switched to a socket instead of just a regular box wrench. And I did that just because I felt like it was a little bit easier. You could definitely do it with a box wrench, but I just felt like it was a little bit quicker and easier to do it. You just got a 13mm ratchet. So, one of the final pieces, other than bolting the rack, actually to the truck bed, is these cross bars that go from the front to the back. Ties everything together, allows you to hang packs, boxes, traction boards, all that kind of stuff on the side of your rig. So let's put these on. And it's going to take 4 of these hex bolts. Only got 2 for right now, just to get a fit. And we're going to go here. And we're going to go here. And I feel like at this point, you're good to tighten some of these up. So let's go do that. We're going to go ahead and tighten the other bolt on that corner piece on both ends now. Now you don't want to tighten these up if this is not exactly where you want your front and your back posts to be, but I think I got mine pretty good. I know I wanted to leave a little bit of room here. Got a rooftop tent to go on, so I think this will work. Let's put the other 2 bolts on. Just like. And we're almost done. When we're the bottom of the bolt. So you can pour it down. Okay, the last step is to secure the rack to the bed of the truck via the rails. Now, I will say the only downfall I've seen with this rack, the instructions are pretty good. Gives you the parts list, gives you pretty good detailed instructions on putting the rack together. But one thing that it doesn't do, it doesn't tell you how to attach the rack, or at least give you instructions on it. Now it does give you the parts. It gives you 4 of these and gives you 8 of these. Now, that has 2 holes with threaded nuts. Each one of these has a hole with a threaded nut. So 2 of these equal 1 of these. Now this rack is versatile for a lot of different trucks, from Ford to Chevy to Dodge, Toyota, Jeep Gladiator. So this is determining on, I guess, what vehicle you're putting this on. This right here looks like would definitely work on the Ford, and probably on most of the other racks. Not really sure these, but what we're going to do is we're going to try to install it with these and see how well it holds. All right, I'm not going to lie, this is a little awkward. I don't know if you can see me very well, but this piece right here, you notice your bolt ends are sticking out, or nut ends. These are in. So it's going to go up under here like that, so that this piece is pressed up against the lip of your bed rail. The pieces that are sticking out are going to go outward, away from the bed, not inward. We're going to use the long nuts, and we're just going to, I'm going to use the center ones. So I think what we'll do first is stick these in here like this. It's a little bit awkward to do it in video. So that this can just slide up into place like that. And this is when it's best to have the impact with the 13mm socket. So we're going to stick it all the way up there. And we're going to tighten one of them. And tighten the other one. And that's tight and secure. It's really that simple. I guess if you wanted to use these as well and put one on each end so you had 4 bolts, you could do that. And maybe that's what it's intended for. But honestly, I've never seen anything on a bed rail installed with 4 bolts like that. Truck caps, other racks, all that kind of stuff generally uses 2 bolts. Let's do the other ones. All right, guys, there you go. the new shiprock mid-rack from TUWA Pro. Pretty easy to install. I think it's a good product, and I'm not just saying that because this is a sponsored video, but they approached us at More Expo and asked if we'd be interested in putting one of their racks on the Ford pickup and bring it out to Overland East in Virginia in October. So we said sure. Honestly, it really wasn't in the market for a new rack. Kind of like the rack I had. If you remember the other video, the install we did on that rack, it was just a rack from Amazon. Nothing really wrong with the rack, but I will say, for a little bit more money, which this isn't a whole lot more money, you can get a better quality, better finish, and this rack is definitely lighter weight, and it sits a little bit shorter than the other rack I had. Now they're both, I guess, considered mid-height racks, but this one is probably a good 3 or 4 inches shorter than what I had, which I like that because once I put the rooftop tent on, it's going to bring that rooftop tent down a little bit, so a little less drag on the road, and hopefully will increase my gas mileage between a little bit lighter weight and the rooftop tent sitting a few inches lower. But that'll be another video. We'll get all that put together. But I did want to say, with the shiprock mid-rack, it does not include a way to mount the rooftop tent. So you do have to purchase these cross members. It's 4 pieces. 2 of them go together, as you can see, so that you can adjust it in between the rails to where you want your rooftop tent. It is an added value, or added feature, I should say. And the reason that is, there's a lot of people that use these racks that don't have rooftop tents. Rock crawlers, Baja guys, things like that, that have the racks on their vehicles just for the sole purpose of putting recovery gear attached to the truck, or extra fuel and roto packs and all that kind of stuff. And in that case, they really don't need anything on the top. They're not going to mount anything on the top. So that's a benefit of this rack. It's a little bit of a cheaper price point than some of the other racks. But if you do want to put a rooftop tent or a rack on top where you can put totes, storage totes, Pelican totes, things like that on the top, you are going to need these cross members. And I'm not sure the exact price, but they're somewhere around, I think, $200 for the set, which is not bad because, honestly, this rack with these together, I want to say it's less than $1,000. You can't really beat that right now. Racks are getting pretty expensive, and TUWA Pro has found a way to make it very affordable. And I appreciate that. As you know, on Off the Beaten Path Adventures, we try to do things that are budget friendly for you guys, so you can see that anybody can go out here and do this stuff. So I appreciate that, definitely. But I'll get these on, and we'll be mounting the rooftop tent back on this old Ford Fraptor, and then we'll put the awning back on. Maybe do a little bit something different on the sides. I'll probably put my boxes back on, but we will see. So hey, thanks for watching this video. Thank you, TUWA Pro, for stepping up on this rack for us. We really appreciate it. We can't wait to get to Overland East this October in Virginia. And hey, if you guys are out there, or come on out there and see us, we'd love to see you guys. We like seeing our followers, and we definitely love the events and love to kind of walk around and network and meet people. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. If you like it and you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and follow us, hit the like, and we'll see you next time, guys.